And welcome to Hero Power. This is episode 86, and I am your host, Avantes. And as always, I am joined by my co hosts, Zeroshio.
Share your screen.
It was until somebody else had to show off during the pre show.
What's up,
And
gang?
Versika.
Oh, 30 seconds in, you're already stealing my thunder. I was about to give him a hard time over not sharing the screen. I'd be like, it'd be great if I could see my co-host.
Yeah, well,
Oh wait, there they are.
It was shared until somebody had to brag. Ooh, look at my new toy.
I wasn't bragging.
Rasika's already ruining the layout in pre-show.
You know me. You know me. I'm all about disrupting the meta.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we've got a great show planned for you tonight. Little bit to talk about, not a whole lot. I think the news and discussion will actually probably go pretty quickly this week because I'm excited about checking out tonight's deck list. If those of you haven't heard, they recently instituted a new class called Hunter, and we're going to check it out tonight.
Yeah, Hunter. Never before played class. It's new. It's exciting.
It feels like it.
It does. So before we jump in, go ahead. No, I was fixing to throw it to you anyway.
You just he is ready. We've got I'm looking down at the news and discussion page, and it's almost a page long by itself. I'm sure he's just ready to get to it. So
yeah. All right, before we jump into
along.
all that, Rasika, tell us a little bit about our friends at Viforce.
All right, so we have talked computers and Viforce for quite some time now, but I feel like the testament to a good system is running the heck out of it, and it's still performing time and time again. So one of the things that I have enjoyed doing since I got my Viforce system, and I know that Zeroshio has really been impressed with his Viforce system, is its ability to multitask. So this weekend, I put my Viforce machine to the biggest test that I think I've ever had for it. So while I was writing my blog post, I was also in between games of Heroes of the Storm while I was streaming HGC on one Twitch channel in full high def, and then streaming the Hearthstone event from Dreamhack on the other screen in high def, while also researching drone prices and watching drone comparison videos in between matches for the HGC, and in between waiting for my unranked drafts and quick matches to come up when I wasn't playing with members in our Discord channel, which, by the way, the Discord was also running, and also answered a Skype call from my mother. All this, all running at the same time, and it didn't miss a beat. I heard the fans kick up. The fans were definitely running, but it didn't miss a beat. I didn't drop a frame. I never had a window close. I never lagged out in Heroes, which just running Heroes and streaming Heroes before was a really big challenge for my system to be able to do all those things. And there was something. Oh, I was also recording a couple of my unranked drafts, so I had OBS up, and that was the only time I ever even really had a hiccup. Was I switched over to Overwatch for a minute to record the opening of my golden loot box today, and that was the only time I've had a hiccup. But yeah, so 6 months in, I have used this computer almost every day, and I still haven't found its limit yet. I'm still trying to find what I can throw at it to just make it go, oh, I give up. So I'm super excited with my system. I know Zeroshio is super excited with his system. It is getting ready to be back to school time. Some of you are going to college for the first time, looking for a machine to take with you to college, something that you can do your schoolwork with, but maybe game some in your downtime. It is the perfect chance to look at the systems Viforce have to offer And I have to say, at $600, the Vector looks really, really slick to take into a college dorm and have everything you need to do your schoolwork and do your gaming and streaming your Netflix on the side and so on and so forth. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we go to the video portion.
Sweet.
And I would like to explain the little hiccup you had. I actually had that same issue myself, and I had to investigate it further because I'm a tech guy like that. That's actually an OBS issue. If you've changed any of your video settings to a higher setting, it takes the OBS a second and it resets everything with your video card. It sends a message to your card to basically reset so it can save the settings.
That's exactly what happened because I did turn my settings up.
It's nothing on your performance or your computer. It's actually just a command from OBS that makes your video card basically reset it. And on other systems, that can take upwards of 15 to 40 seconds, where on this system, it took like maybe a second, if that.
Yeah, mine was instantaneous. It was just a little hiccup, and then immediately I was back in.
And that is not indicative of the performance of the computer. That's specifically a software thing. And I've noticed it a few times when I switch from recording Hearthstone to local recording anything else. It's not even, I'm not even streaming it, I'm just recording, and it does that because it sees a change in the video settings. So it has nothing to do with the Viforce computer. Go out there and get your machine today.
Cool. All right, well, this past weekend we saw a lot of great action, and from what a lot of the pros are saying, some of the best Hearthstone since the Journey to Ngoro meta rotated. And that was at Dreamhack Summer in Sweden.
Which had all kinds of great video game action. If you were an esports fan, that was a weekend full of just amazing play across the board. It doesn't matter what video game you were a fan of. If it was being played at DreamHack this weekend, it seems like every channel I went to, something was being played at a really high level.
Yes. Yeah, and the great thing about Dreamhack Summer is it actually goes through Monday. So I was able to watch the grand finals, or the finals and the grand finals of the Hearthstone Grand Prix at Dreamhack Summer Monday while I was at work. So I love watching Dreamhack Summer. There was a tiny bit of staleness in the meta. You saw a lot of decks that you saw at the last DreamHack. Because it is last hero standing, so a lot of those same tried and true decks that worked at DreamHack Austin are also going to work at DreamHack Summer, which will also probably work at DreamHack Valencia and DreamHack Atlanta. So if you're going to DreamHack Atlanta, pay attention to these DreamHacks. You might get an idea what the pros are going to play, because N'Zoth Paladin was very strong, Jade Druid and Aggro Druid were very strong and prevalent, multiple varieties of Paladin. It's pretty much similar to the meta. The only big change is in the aggro shaman. You saw a lot of sea giants teched in. It's the only real big change to the meta from DreamHack Austin to DreamHack Sweden.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that for a second. When you look at the deck breakdown, Druid came in with the most players in the top 16, bringing Druid at 13. So only 3 people didn't bring Druid. 12 people brought Shaman, 12 people brought Paladin, 11 people brought Mage, 8 people brought Warrior, 7 people brought Warrior, 8 people brought Rogue, only 1 player brought Priest, and then 0 players in the top 16 had a Hunter or a Warlock deck.
That's right. And there were 250 players starting the 9 rounds of Swiss. The format's the same as they do all the DreamHacks. But at DreamHack Sweden, with the extra day at DreamHack Summer, they get a little more rest time, which they really needed this time because there's a lot of Hearthstone.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as like Druid went, it was what, like 9 or 10 J Druids? I think it was.
Yep.
Is at least 9. 10 maybe, and then like 4 Control Paladins, which I thought were pretty cool. Gunther Mage, of course. I feel like I saw it everywhere. There was one that I couldn't tell if it was like what it was trying to do. I don't think it won, but it was just weird.
The Mage at DreamHack Summer was a little different than you saw at DreamHack Austin. You saw either Burn Mage, DreamHack Austin, or Secret Mage. This new hybrid mage is a combination of secret and burn mage together. It does run the Alexstrasza finishing finisher, but it takes out some of the discover mechanics and replaces it with more secret tech. It's working out pretty well. It's a little bit of change to the meta. I was just really impressed by the play. It was solid play. The winner of the Grand Prix was Orange, and he ran N'Zoth Paladin, Jade Druid, Miracle Rogue, and Evolve Shaman. And it was the aggro-based Evolve Shaman.
Yeah, and actually, it seemed like there were a lot of people that had brought out Evolve for this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's good against aggro. It's an aggro killer.
I know I saw at least one Jade Elemental hybrid. I can't remember who played it. I saw one Elemental Shaman. I think he got banned. I don't think I saw it get played. I think they were just, when they flashed the deck list up. Or no, he had an Elemental Shaman, but we didn't get to see it. And then there was a pure Jade Shaman, and it didn't do very good. But I think overall the Shaman did fairly well.
Yeah, Shaman is starting to come out on its own again. At first it started out with that Elemental Shaman, and then they found out it really wasn't as consistent against aggro, so they built this kind of evolve aggro Shaman, and now Control Shaman is starting to come back. A variety of this combination of evolve and devolve, and the Elemental Shaman is starting to come out. So when you play against a Shaman, it could be 3, maybe 4 different types of deck, which is really refreshing this far into a cycle. What are we, 2 months out now? And we're still seeing innovations using the Ngoro cards. Usually by this time, we found out what cards are good or bad in the set, and the good ones stay.
This is a better situation than what we've seen in the last few cycles.
Oh, yeah.
Whispers was the worst. I think that tells us, or it tells me, that it sounds like Blizzard's doing something right, that we've got such a diverse meta this far in.
The only worry I'm having at this point is, with the 3 full sets, are we, and I believe Versika, you brought this up last week, are we really going to have the meta fleshed out before the next set comes out? And that may be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it is starting to firm up. Coming into this, there was innovation, but I think people, they're settling in and really maximizing the interaction between Ngoro, Mean Streets, Whispers, and the classic set. And I think you're starting to see these card combinations that are both consistent and powerful starting to appear in more and more decks. I feel like you said, these are some of the same basic deck bones that we saw at DreamHack Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the cards have been changed up. Some of it is to adjust for a couple of newcomers to the meta. But for the most part, I feel like it was just to solidify some of the inherent weaknesses in the decks that were played at Austin as an overall blanket answer to what they might run into, rather than a specific answer to a deck archetype that just came out and just took the meta by storm, which is what we've seen in the past.
Yeah. Pirates.
Yeah.
Well, Pirates, let's see. I'm trying to remember. It felt like it was half and half, but that can't be right because Warriors only had 7.
When Mean Streets came out, the Pirate meta took over day 1. I know because I did it the first night of release and went up 13 ranks.
Yeah, I feel like I saw at least 2 Pirate Warriors.
Oh, there were variations. Yeah, there were definitely variations of Pirate Warrior.
I feel like 2 people played Pirate Warrior, and I feel like they went half and half. I feel like they won as many as they lost as many as they won.
Oh yeah, I mean it was those new innovative aggro decks upon release have about a 52% win rate. You're not playing it because it has a high win rate. You're playing it because it has fast games, and as long as you're over 50%, If your games are less than 5 minutes each, you're going to fly up the ranks really fast.
I was just talking about DreamHack.
Well, yeah, and DreamHack also had, well,
I feel like they weren't. I feel like for once, for the first time in a long time, I feel like the people weren't really scared enough of Pirate Warrior to specifically tech against Pirate Warrior.
well, it's kind of the way the meta's gone. Instead of teching against Pirate Warrior, teching against these Murloc Paladins with the crabs, they're basically gearing their decks up just to beat those type of decks, which consequently also beats other decks similar to like Aggro Druid, which is why you're seeing Aggro Druid drop out of the meta right now in the tournament scene and being replaced with Jade Druid.
Jade Druid, because it's harder to handle.
Well, it's not just that it's harder to handle. Your opponent sees Druid and says, well, I'm not going to ban Druid because it's probably Aggro Druid. My lineup's good against Aggro Druid. Then they find out it's Jade Druid. Again, DreamHack is a hidden deck tournament in the Swiss rounds. You don't actually see your opponent's decks, so you can plan against them until you get into the elimination rounds of 16. So you can have that element of surprise going in, playing a class that has a predominant archetype, and then maybe teching your deck slightly or playing a totally different archetype in that class to throw your opponent off. Which is why I really like DreamHack.
I was going to say, I feel like that made for a much more interesting tournament environment. And I do feel like the lead up to the Sweet 16, I feel like there was better Hearthstone played, and it was more interesting to watch in the Swiss rounds than when we got to the 16.
Yeah, and it goes back to the argument we've had before, or debate we've had before about whether the hidden decks or the open decks are good and what formats. I think in Last Hero Standing, because of the way you have to set your lineup and how picking what order you play your decks is very important, I think the hidden deck option is better because it allows you to have that flexibility of your opponent not knowing what you're going to do. Obviously, getting into the round of 16 and you can see your opponent's deck at that point. You actually see some of the players that may have went 9-0 or 8-1 suffer in that first round because now their opponents can see their decks. So it's I like it. I think DreamHack has a very dynamic, diverse tournament rules. I'm really excited to play them here next month at DreamHack Atlanta. Speaking of DreamHack Atlanta, I know we're going to be doing some firesides while we're down there, trying to do something down with Battle and Brew. I see here in the show notes, Avandes, you put something about the new Fireside Gathering Taverns.
So yeah, if you guys haven't heard, we talked a while back about the introduction of taverns as a thing to Fireside Gatherings. Well, that is now in live beta. And Blizzard announced that the taverns would be live for all Fireside Gatherings scheduled this weekend. So if you guys have a Fireside Gathering in your area scheduled for this weekend, make sure you go out there and check it out. Support your local innkeepers who are volunteering their time to put these events on. And check out the new Fireside Brawl, which is a new feature that's being introduced with the tavern. So if you guys, I'll do a quick recap for those that may not be familiar. Innkeepers will now be able to create taverns inside the game where when you come to a Fireside Gathering, when you open your friends menu, there will be a tab at the top that says, join this tavern. Whatever the name of it is. We'll call it, Tavern of Fun. So it'll say, do you wish to join the Tavern of Fun Fireside Gathering? You'll say yes, and it'll put you into a group with all the other players in that area. And then you'll be able to
Avanti's Fun House.
Yeah. You'll be able to do special events like the Fireside Brawl. You'll be able to do, you'll be able to get special rewards just for competing as they roll those out. But this weekend's Fireside Brawl is something that's a lot of fun. I know because I've actually already done it. But it's called Tag Team. The way it works is there's 2 teams of 3 players. So it's 3 versus 3. And each team will elect one person to start. You'll play on one device, so one tablet, one phone, one laptop, whatever. And the person that's elected to start for each team will pick a class. They'll play their game. So let's say it's Hunter versus Warrior. And the Hunter and the Warrior go at it. The Hunter wins the match with 12 health left when the Warrior dies. What will then happen is the next player on that team will sit down at the device, pick one of 3 Discover classes, and start that match at full health with the Hunter still at 12 health.
Cool.
And then when the Hunter dies, the next person tags in and plays against the other player who's continuing from wherever their health was. And the object is to be the first team to win 3 games. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
It's like old Tekken rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
It's really a lot of fun. I highly recommend going out and checking it out if you get a chance.
So this will be available this weekend at like maybe a Tavern Hero qualifier at
Probably
Epicos,
not.
Chattanooga?
Probably
No?
not. It is because it's not going to be a Fireside. It's going to be a Tavern Hero qualifier.
That's right. Okay. So if you were going to a Tavern Hero qualifier this weekend and expecting to see this, you may not see it.
You may not see it. That's correct.
Okay. Gotcha. Just to clarify.
Yep, just to clarify. But
I love going to fireside gatherings. It's really cool because you can sit and play with your friends, play in tournaments, and usually they'll have esports up on a TV or a projector in the store. Like you could sit and maybe watch like the Hearthstone Global Games, which brings me into my next topic. The Hearthstone Global Games are back on fire. They started their round of 24 this week,
and it's been fun.
It's amazing. You're seeing some really good teams. There is a little bit of controversy going into the round 24, thinking that some teams might not have completed their games completely, hoping to seed differently or have other teams seed differently. Because Peru, who actually upset the United States 3-0, ended up also upsetting the United Kingdom 3-0 and knocking out who was it? One of the teams. It wasn't the Netherlands, but knocking out one of I'll tell you in just a second once I pull it back up. They knocked out one of the teams, which really upset that team, thinking that possibly the United States and Great Britain might have not played their games completely out. It was Romania. Romania ended up getting knocked out by Peru, and Peru made it in with a total record of 9-9. Have you all been watching the Hearthstone Global Games this week yet?
I have not. I watched a little bit of the USA match today, but I was pretty busy at work, so I only got to watch Dog and Amnesiac's matches.
We've had some good matches. We still have some more going on tomorrow. Group A had Malaysia defeating Singapore. Group B, Czech Republic beat Israel 3-2. That was a really good match. Czech Republic actually had this crazy Warlock deck they used for their 8th match that had Violet Illusionist mixed with the Blood Bloom potion, so that you could get a free spell by not have to pay its mana cost, because Violet Illusionist cancels out the damage. And then it also had Doom. It was geared specifically to beat Paladin, any variety of Paladin. And it did. It was really. Oh no, it came just short. It wasn't the ace match. I'm sorry. It was, I think, the third match. It came just short, but it was a really good deck. The United States ended up defeating Belgium 3-1. And I had a little bit of criticism for the United States in the round of 48, thinking they kind of coasted in. They actually ended up falling to second in their group, moving over to the round of 24. Mm-hmm. They proved me wrong this round. They did really good against Belgium. They stayed focused. They seemed to have the confidence, and they lacked the overconfidence, which is what I was being concerned about with the United States team. Amnesiac played really well. Firebat was just on fire, like he always is. The Netherlands defeated Philippines, which is a really good match. And I really think this wasn't a bad Philippines team. I think this team may actually do really well in this round. The Netherlands just played really exceptionally well this time. Group D, New Zealand dominates Hungary. That's Pathra's team, 3-0. And this Hungary team is a good team. Mm-hmm. So I think New Zealand is on fire. Rounding out the groups, Group E, Ukraine defeats Austria in a 3-2. Went to the five games. That was a really tight matchup. That's wife coach's team. She's doing really well. I've been really proud of the female contingent in this tournament. Greece defeats Peru 3-1. I don't think Peru is going to do well. I think that Peru is a little short of talent in this. I think they snuck in on some wins that they maybe probably shouldn't have won in the round of 48. And then Group F. This is what I want to talk about. Group F is the strongest group. They have Italy, Bulgaria, Mexico, and Canada. Only 2 of these teams are definitely going to qualify for the round of 16, possibly a third, depending on the tiebreakers and records. All 4 of these teams could go to the round of 16, and I'd be happy. Italy defeats Bulgaria 3-1. It was a really good matchup. And then Mexico, which is the last match of the day, just ended not too long ago, defeats Canada 3-2.
Both of those teams are really strong. Canada and Mexico.
Yeah. And Mexico came into this. They did an interview with Epsilon, and she specifically stated that they did something a little different this time, and they let some of the players pick their own lineups, and they specifically wanted to surprise Canada with some tech choices and deck innovations, and they did that. For the most part, they played pretty solid games. And their decks were kind of meta decks, but they had some unique tech choices and unique lines of play that really threw Canada off. At one point, Purple looked like he was going to pull his hair out. He was really distraught by some of his plays. I believe it was Espinado that he was playing against in the, I want to say that was the ace match. Espinado played fabulously. I think he won his I believe he was combo rogue, a miracle rogue versus combo rogue, and won it like on turn 4, and it was just, he was just tearing it up. But Epsilon says that they've been really focusing, and they believe if they could beat Canada today, they'll easily be able to get to the round of 16 and compete very well. She also did bring up that there was a lot of controversy about the Mexico team, and she was asked by Rob Wing is if Mexico is getting more support from their community, and she said that they were very critical, and she admitted that it was because of her. They believed that she was not strong enough to be on the team. And after their first match, where they brought home a win, Mexico started to really get behind them. And as she won more games on her own, the Mexican fan base for Hearthstone has really gotten behind Team Mexico in the Hearthstone Global Games. And this just makes me so proud of the community, one, and proud of Team Mexico. Now, Epsilon did lose her match today, which if I'm not mistaken, is her first loss since the Hearthstone Global Games has started. But the rest of her team stepped up and just performed exceptionally. Do you guys have any thoughts on any of the teams in the Hearthstone Global Games or Team Mexico specifically?
I think you pretty much covered it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think you did a really good job of recapping all the HGG highlights. I don't know that I have anything I could add.
Sorry for talking so much. There's just so much going on right now, and until we get to the round of 16, there's just going to be a lot of news every week. And
I'm just excited to, we've said this multiple weeks in a row, but I'm really enjoying the format, and I'm excited to see how it continues to progress, and see which country comes out on top.
Yeah,
and just sort of like a side note there, I enjoyed watching the mid-season brawl for HGC so much this week, and the events, the HGC in general, from when it began in Phase 1 all the way up to the mid-season brawl, because what it's done is it has allowed you to connect with the teams in a way that you have a rooting interest. You're pulling for a team, and you want to see them. You want to see them succeed, and you want to see what they're going to pull out of their hat next week. They're not confined to certain picks. They're not confined to certain maps. The global games has allowed Hearthstone to do something along that same vein.
Yes. Because
you have teams of players, and because they're not locked into those deck choices week after week, it makes it, in my opinion, it makes it more interesting to watch, but it also allows you to become attached to those teams and to really become invested in their wins and their losses, and invested in what are they going to do next, and seeing them adapt to who they're playing. And it's done in a fashion that to me is more encompassing and more fulfilling than a weekend-long tournament.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really like how every week they can change their decks and they can change their order lineup. Obviously, Epsilon was opening out every single round, and some of the other teams were taking their strongest player and putting them in the first round. And when they faced Mexico, they would realize that's not going to work because Epsilon was performing at a high level. So they started moving their ace player, their anchor player, to different areas other than the first round, they were wanting to make sure they at least had a round in. Well, Mexico has started moving Epsilon around. So now it's almost like a game of chicken. Is where can we avoid this matchup? And they're setting their lineup saying, okay, I'm going to play these two classes because it's good against these two classes, which I think this player is going to bring. And then I'm going to go in the third slot because so far in the last 3 weeks, they played in the third slot. So there's a meta game in the meta game. And it's really awesome. I love this team format that they've made for Hearthstone. You've had some team formats, but it's like, yeah, it's a team of players, but they're all really just playing their own individual game. But in this case, they're having to talk about their decks, they're talking about their plays together, and they're also having to strategize what order they go in so they can maximize their win percentage against the other team. So watching tape of the other team and deciding, well, I think they're going to go with the aggro lineup, so let's go with the control lineup, or vice versa. And I'm loving it. If you're hearing passion and excitement out of my voice, it's because I'm passionate and excited about HGG. The Hearthstone Global Games have just relit the fire for Hearthstone and me. I haven't been able to play much lately because of June's always a rough month for me with responsibilities and whatnot. But I really want to get back to it, start firing down some more games, and get ready for DreamHack and compete myself.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to. Next month's going to be really busy for me. I probably won't get to play much at all next month, but we'll see. I may sneak a few games in here and there.
So before we get into that, I'm going to intersect here real quick and just remind everybody that we have 2 Tavern Hero qualifiers this weekend. that you can come and be a part of if you're in the Knoxville and Chattanooga area. So on Saturday, we're going to have a Tavern Hero qualifier in the Chattanooga area, and on Sunday, we're going to have our Knoxville Tavern Hero qualifier. Now, we will not be doing a Tavern Hero qualifier in the month of July.
Yes.
Right.
We're not even doing a Fireside in the month of July, with the exception there's the possibility that we may get something together at the end of the month, but it's going to be more of like a
Casual get together.
very casual get together and not in a normal Fireside style environment. So it's if you're looking to get together to play Hearthstone in a live setting, this weekend is your chance. Then after that, the month of July is very, very, very busy. So it's going to be a lot of online and tuning into the show if you want your hero power fix.
And
I know for me, there's a lot of getting ready for DreamHack and then going to DreamHack and then recovering from DreamHack.
Yeah.
So
Well, I want to make a correction to an earlier statement that I made about the Fireside Gatherings. While this weekend they are beta testing the taverns, the actual tag team Fireside Brawl, it looks like, will only be available during the month of July.
okay.
So if you want to play the tag team Fireside Brawl, you will have to go to a Fireside Gathering in the month of July. That's the only time it'll be active.
But the beta tool is being opened up to all
Should be
Firesides
opened
this
up
weekend.
to all Firesides this weekend, yes.
Gotcha.
So they may have a different Fireside Brawl this weekend as opposed to the tag team in July. I don't know. So, but yeah, I just wanted to make that correction real quick before we moved on. So.
Yeah, Inked in chat says that we need to do a Fireside on the 11th of July because that's his birthday. First off, happy birthday. The 11th of July is like the worst time.
I'm probably going to be flying to California
On
on
a
that
plane.
day, Inked, so I will not be around, unfortunately. So.
The week of the 11th, I will toast a pina colada in your name, sir, because I will be at the beach.
I'll be in my underwear somewhere.
As far as changing the subject now. And as far Inked asks, do you get anything for these brawls, or is it just bragging rights? There may be prizes. There may be prizes for competing. It just depends on the Fireside Gathering that you attend, and whether or not they have them available. I really don't know. So every Fireside Gathering will probably be a little bit different. So, all right. So that brings us to this week's regular Tavern Brawl, which is a repeat. It's actually, I enjoy this Tavern Brawl just because I enjoy the RNG aspect of it. This is Spiders Everywhere. Spiders have overrun everything, including your deck. Whatever class you play, your deck will be teeming with web spinners. So, like I said, this is a repeat brawl we've seen in the past, so not gonna go into it. But
It's
I
been
do
over
wanna-
a year, so
Yeah, it's been over a year, and I do want to bring it up because Ungoro had a lot of new beasts added. So if you played a class that might actually benefit from this quite a bit, you might actually get some really good beasts. Getting Swamp King Dread out of Hunter is really strong. If you decide to play Paladin, you can get the Light Forge Stegodon, which really synergizes with your hero power. So it's what I like about these repeat brawls is they're repeating them not so close together like they used to. They're spreading them out so that the last time you saw it, maybe a set or a set and adventure have came out since then. So this was real fun. I played it a lot today, actually. I've got in about 20 games of it. It was really difficult, very RNG based, but fun.
Yeah, it is. Always fun to play. So, all right. Well, that brings us to this week's deck list, and we have not done Hunter yet this cycle. Last time we actually did this was the first or second week of the HGG when we talked about when we talked about Epsilon's Hunter deck. So this time we're actually talking about Kranich's Hunter deck. And if you guys, Kranich is a pretty well-known player in the pro scene. So I'm going to run this deck list down, and then I'm going to let Zeroshio kind of talk about how it plays.
And real quick, this is the deck that he took to Asia Pacific and won with.
Okay, so this deck won at the APAC. Okay.
Yes.
So the deck list includes 2 Alley Cats, 2 Firefly, 2 Tracking, 2 Cat Trick, 2 Crackling Razor Maw, 1 Explosive Trap, 1 Flare, 1 Golaka Crawler, 2 Kindly Grandmother, 1 Knife Juggler, 1 Snake Trap, 2 Animal Companion, 2 Cloaked Huntress, 2 Eaglehorn Bow, 2 Kill Command, 2 Unleash the Hounds, 2 Houndmaster, and 1 Leroy Jenkins. So, first thing I see in this deck that excites me, Zeroshio, 2 Tracking? What?
Yes.
And a Flare?
Two Tracking.
Those are cards you don't see a lot of in this day and age, but 2 Tracking and a Flare in this deck. So, tell us a little bit about how it plays.
One of the biggest disadvantages of Aggro Hunter, and this really is, it's a secret hunter kind of mixed with an Aggro Hunter. One of the biggest disadvantages is card advantage. The tracking really helps you find those cards that you need, not just draw cards, but actually get those cards you need. And really, it's good for the meta. Now, I have had hot and cold streaks with this on the ladder, and it is really designed for tournament lineup. It really eats through Rogue really well, and it eats through some variations of Paladin and Aggro Druid. It goes through pretty well. But when you start playing against Priest and Mage, it can fall a bit short. So really, you kind of have to hit your sweet spot. Hopefully, we'll find some good matchups today. But it's just a fun deck, and it's probably not going to be Versika's favorite because it is truly an Aggro Hunter.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't even if I were not coming off my experiment this week, I probably wouldn't have deep dived this deck. There's nothing deep about this deck.
Well,
it's like standing in a puddle.
There is some finesse to it, knowing when to put your secrets out and when to actually do a knife juggler combo. But for the most part, yes, you're just going to try to control the board with value trades, but you're just going to go face.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm ready to play it. I don't know about you guys. Do you have any last minute thoughts you want to talk about tonight's show at all, Versika?
No, just that. Just be looking out on the website for a new blog post. I did end my experiment today. It was a week early, but the person who I was doing the experiment for decided that they wanted to take the deck I was playing and run it from where I got it. I got it to 11, and that's just slightly over 20 hours played. So even taking that one deck and playing nothing but that one deck and a little over 20 hours of playtime, almost got to level 10. So it can be done. You know, a lot of people say that Hearthstone is a pay to win. You don't have to pay to win if you're smart with your deck choice and you put the time in to get good at it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So just stay the course.
Look forward to reading your blog post. All right, Zeroshio.
Hearthstone News is on a downswing, and Hearthstone Esports is on an upswing, which hopefully that means we're going to get some announcements of from Team 5 on what's going on with Hearthstone with either the new set or possibly new features they're going to be adding in the new set. I had the dream that we might actually see the new set right before Dreamhack. Those dreams are dwindling unless they say something between now and Friday. This is kind of that window that's closing. If they don't say anything this week, they won't have enough time. So I'm going to cry a little tear and drink a little beer for that loss. But, you know, I'll still be ready for DreamHack, and I implore everybody to go out there and watch some Hearthstone esports. It's getting better. It's getting stronger. I understand that there's a big a blog or Twitter post uh, by Hearthstone Arena player Hafu about how viewership on Twitch is going down for Hearthstone. There's also, I implore you to go out there and look at Brian Kibler's rebuttal on that, where it's not as bad as it's believed. Um, but I think Hearthstone is doing really well. It's thriving, and Ungaro's probably the best set, and hopefully they do nothing but better.
I agree. Yeah, it's. I was going to actually talk about that just a little bit, but since you touched on it, you know, a lot of people were freaking out because of the downturn in viewership on Twitch. But as Versika likes to point out, this time of year, a lot of people are traveling. A lot of people are on vacation. A lot of people are not sitting at home in front of their computers. They're out doing stuff with the family or traveling, you know, for whatever reason. And that could be part of why your viewership is down. You know, Frodan actually mentions in that same tweet that statistically, you know, historically, July is even worse than June for viewership numbers. And they don't actually start to tick back up until the end of July or August when people start going back to school and traveling stops. So I think, you know, again, also, you know, Savitz makes a mention in that same post about, well, why can't we find a way to keep viewership stable? And Kibler says, well, that's because you have to have some way to make expansion hype all the time, and it's just not feasible. So,
Well, I'm a Savitz fan. Everyone knows that. But, he's getting ready to take 10 days off.
yep.
I mean, that's part of it. It's that time of year where people travel and just aren't indoors as much. So
See, I told you Versika said that.
Yeah. But I mean, you think about it, June and July, you got 60 days, 61 days. Well, a sixth of Savit's viewership time just went away.
Yep.
Numbers are going to be down. It's simple math.
Yep. All right, guys. That's going to do it for us this week. If you are joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via our audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. You can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show, you would like to help support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. And until next week, we'll see you. Wait, I screwed that up. We will see you again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power. I didn't screw that up.
No. All right. So while we set this up, Zeroshio is going to be driving tonight. So Versika, tell us a little bit more about our friends at Viforce.
Okay, so during the audio portion, we talked about getting ready to go off to school for the first time. Let's say that you've got a graduate who just graduated, get ready to go off to college for the first time, or let's say that you've got one already in college and they're tired of going to the library to do their schoolwork, but they need to get there because that's where the computers that are powerful enough to do what they need to do are located. Well, in the audio portion, I talked about the Vector coming in at $600, being able to do anything that you needed the computer to do for school. The Element, which was inspired by this show, by the Hero Power Podcast, comes in at only $450. Will be everything that you need it to do. Will be able to do everything that you need it to do for schoolwork. And if you are a Blizzard fan, it plays Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft 2, Diablo 3, and WoW Legion, all on high settings, no issues, and throw in a little bit of League of Legends in there as well. So if you're just looking at sticking with the Blizzard family of games And just doing schoolwork at $450, the Element is an absolute steal.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're getting ready to send a grad off, or you have a grad in college, or let's say that you've even got one, a child getting ready to turn 15, 16 years old, and you're looking for a computer for them to kind of, work their way into and upgrade as you go along, then maybe the Element's what you're looking for. Maybe you want to build a custom PC. You can find all these things at fiveforcegaming.com. If you have any questions, make sure to use the Contact Us page on the website. Send them an email. Ask them your question. There's no such thing as a stupid question. These guys love technology. They love their computers. They love gaming, and they love talking to you. So make sure you send them an email, and they'll get back with you with any answers.
All right. So, Zeroshio, let me know when you have found a worthy opponent.
I'm queuing up now. I'm just laughing at chat. Chat's bantering at each other.
Yeah, chat's giving me a hard time because I stumbled over the ending of the audio saying I'm a rank 25 podcaster.
Inked in chat says a lot of people are tired of seeing the same old decks being played. I don't know. Maybe I'm playing a different ladder. I don't see the same old decks being played.
Okay, I mean, you're at rank 9, so I mean,
I am.
You're at that innovative floor mark where you aren't going to see the same decks.
All right, we have Kindly Grandmother, Snake Trap, Kill Command, and Cat Trick.
And we're up against a rogue, so.
Yes, which is good. I like Cat Trick because you'll probably get a spell pretty early out of rogue.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Kindly Grandmother. I think I'm going to toss everything else back, though.
Okay, so we're throwing back Snake Trap and Kill Command.
Yes. And so, pretty much you're just looking for your early game.
So just to touch a little bit on what Ink said, the legend rank actually has been pretty stale this month with pretty much the same decks as they were vying for position, but now you're starting to see that spread back out as they get closer to the end of the month. So I think it will get better. I don't think it's getting any worse.
Yeah. So first turn he played a Swashbuckler into Patches.
This is probably Miracle. He did mulligan his far left card.
Uh-huh.
I think coining out Kindly Grandmother is probably good here. What do you guys think?
Well,
I hate to say it's only 2 points of damage, but I don't know. I actually... Kindly Grandmother's okay, but he's just going to clear it with Swashbuckler Backstab. I think I would almost rather coin into Cat Trick.
Cat Trick? I can get behind that.
For me, I think it limits what he can play.
I think you're right. That was my second thought. I want to contest the board, but I don't think he's going to burst out any big damage. So he's testing secret. This is where he's probably wanting to consider, okay, this gets him a spell in his hand, so we know he has a spell to activate that. That's good. Kindly Grandmother contests the board enough that he'll have to use his minions to clear, but we have Unleash the Hounds next turn.
We do, but really then we don't have anything to pair with Houndmaster in turn 4. I would almost rather force him to clear Kindly Grandmother this turn and hope that we draw into a beast on turn 3 to lay down.
I like that.
Hopefully he's used resources to clear Kindly Grandmother and not enough to clear the beast that we end up laying down.
And it's possible to preserve his minions. He uses Backstab on the Big Bad Wolf. And if that's the case, then that makes Unleash the Hounds stronger, and we'll have a 4/2 body as well.
Yep.
I could even see the Razor Pedal come out.
Mm-hmm. So
he'll probably clear the grandmother with his face, and then I would say he probably runs the 2/1/1s in.
No.
There's the Backstab.
There's the Backstab. Ta-da! So we can unleash the hounds this turn, put 2 into the 2/2, clear a 1/1, and then go face with the 4/2.
I would save the 4/2 because
Leave
then
it
he could
stealth?
just clear it with his face and the swashbuckler. I like the other play.
That's
But I
4
would
points of damage to his face.
It would be 8 points of damage total, but it all depends on what we draw. Like if we don't draw a beast,
Which we
then
did.
we have nothing to synergize with Houndmaster.
That makes sense.
I still say that Unleash the Hounds is the best play here. Go ahead and clear the 2/2 and the 1/1, but don't attack with the 4/2 and just
Okay.
leave it as a
Houndmaster
Houndmaster
it next turn. Yeah.
And we want to clear the swashbuckler so there's no chance of him bouncing it back, right?
Right.
Correct.
Okay. I like that. And this gives us a 6/4 next turn, which will probably be eviscerated, but he'll have to eviscerate it.
Exactly. And he still has to deal with the 4/3 that's left on the board.
And that's another thing. Tracking in this deck, too many times I see people just chucking out tracking because they have 1 mana. You really want to wait until you know you need something. Does that change our line at all?
I don't think so.
So
I think it's still
Houndmaster
Houndmaster face.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't seen the Razor Petal Asher tells me that this is definitely Miracle, but he's really building up a hand side. That gets me kind of nervous.
Another swashbuckler.
And he's really looking at that card, which makes you think it's probably an Ungaro card.
Dispatch Kodo.
Batch Coda. I mean,
He's going to have to clear it with his face.
Taking 6.
Yep.
There you go.
I like it.
I think we're on the face plan. Draw Beast. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I'm thinking Alley Cat and Kill Command and just go face. What do you think?
I think Alley Cat, Houndmaster,
Houndmaster.
and send our Houndmaster to clear the Kodo.
Okay, so we're not going to do a face burn plan?
Not
That's up to you.
this turn, I don't think.
The Kodo scares me in the sense that I don't want it to be bounced back to his hand so that it can come back out. Our minions are all really low, and that scares me because at this point we can draw and cast Leroy, and I want him to have to clear Leroy the hard way.
Well, I'd like to send Leroy to face. So
right,
we're
but
gonna,
I mean, I'd like to get 12 points of damage out of Leroy instead of just
So-
6.
the correct play here is we have to Houndmaster the ugly cat so that
Yes.
they protect cute cat.
Correct. Cute
Fair
cat is
enough.
most important.
Clear dispatch coda?
Yeah, I think so.
And if you don't get the reference, you need to watch Brian Killer's YouTube videos.
You see, the other thing that this does is this entices a Fan of Knives, which is straight up 3 mana, or he preps into Fan of Knives, which means that he's burned a prep and a Fan of Knives.
Yeah. And Easy Mech Daddy is showing the Smork face in chat. I understand Smork face, but I believe that's the right line of play because we're developing really wide and we're not showing a weak board to Fan of Knives. I mean, we'll lose 2 minions, but he'll have to do something else, and he'll
And that
probably have
also-
to use his face.
As
There's
you
the
say,
Razor
puts him
Petal.
on 3 mana, but
Yep.
I'm okay with this too.
Yeah, this works too.
Valpine Slayer.
No, cute cat. Probably going to open our turn tracking.
Yep.
Tracking?
Yep.
So, Eagle Horn Bow, Kill Command, and Knife Juggler. Kill Command is 6 damage over 2 turns.
Yeah.
Not Kill Command, I mean Eagle Horn Bow.
Right.
Eagle Horn Bow is 6 damage over 2 turns.
I like Eagle Horn into
Second tracking,
Or into
Yeah.
Double Firefly.
double Firefly.
double Firefly. Eagle
So-
Horn into double Firefly.
Do we just take this face?
Yes,
Make him trade?
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if we draw a beast, and we're going face with a weapon, right?
Yep. Because we really want him to trade.
If we can draw a...
Because conceivably he's dead next turn.
A 2-mana or less beast, and we can do kill command and hero power. That's 8. That's lethal. See, the thing about Rogue is Rogue can't heal, so going face against Rogue is
a Piranha Launcher.
That was a really bad find off of Swashbuckler.
Actually, it's a pretty good find for him right now.
That's 5 mana, and is that that's lethal.
That's lethal.
That's lethal. Yep.
My favorite way to kill somebody is by Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, Bonja in chat says we could have hero powered instead of the double Firefly to set up lethal as well.
Yeah, I think the outs were all pretty much the same with the Eaglehorn bow applied. Again, I did the math on the fly, so he could be right that that's probably better that way. But like Savit say, it's not a misplay if you win.
Well, see, the other thing too, and the reason why I liked the double Firefly play was that it didn't show him that we had lethal. It didn't give away the fact that we were considering that we had lethal. It made it look like we were still trying to take the board wide, like we were still looking for something. Okay. Which in reality we were. We needed to draw our outs, but we didn't want him to think that we had lethal down, so that it changed the way he played against us.
Yeah.
So we have tracking, Eaglehorn bow, and kill command. I like keeping the Eaglehorn against priest. What do you guys think? Or should we ditch it all?
If we had the coin, I would say yes. I think we're definitely throwing back tracking and kill command.
So throw it all back?
I don't mind keeping the Eaglehorn bow, but I think we should go.
Yeah, I would say
better early.
Since we don't have the coin, I'd probably throw it all back.
My gut check. I'm gonna make the split vote here. I'm keeping the Eaglehorn bow. For some reason, I feel like it's gonna be important.
Well, it fits in the curve.
Does fit in the curve. Firefly?
Yep.
And you kind of got to be careful. Alley Cat's really not the greatest play early, unless you can buff it because of, what is it, Potion of Madness.
So, do we snake trap here or cat trick?
Cat trick.
I think we cat trick because he
his
showed he
spells
wants to
cost
cast
one
spells.
less, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a 4-attack minion. I don't like we're not going to get the durability on the bow, but that's fine.
4-attack minion against priest is huge.
Yeah. Oh, he's not going to cast a spell, so we might get some durability on the bow. Clear that with the bow?
Yep.
That's why I wanted to keep it right there. You're welcome.
Glad we could help.
I don't know why the thank yous kill me. I don't understand the thank yous. Well, that's good.
So
we don't have anything to pair it with, so I say snake trap, hero power,
that's
pass.
what I was thinking.
Okay, I like snake trap. Do we want to at least throw out the flame, just the flame elemental, not the firefly, to give him something to try to run into?
I mean, it would trigger it.
Here's my thought. If we hero power, then he's thinking, I've taken 2 damage, and he may heal out of... I mean, he's a golden priest. He's played a lot, but he may heal out of... I mean, the way he's emoting, to me, tells me he's an impatient player, and he may not think it through.
I'm fine with that. I ain't even mad.
We need a beast.
Now I say go ahead and throw out both of the elementals and hero power.
Like all three of the elementals?
What?
The Firefly's going to produce one too.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
all
we-
three elementals.
3 elementals and
sorry.
hero power, yeah.
Okay. And then he will produce snakes. It had to be snakes.
Yep, and that
He'll produce
gives us
snakes.
that gives us
Yep.
Houndmaster value.
And
Razor
crackling
Maul value.
Razor Maul, yeah.
Yep.
There we go. I hope he doesn't have a Holy Nova, which hasn't been an inclusion in a lot of these sets.
Glimmer Root. He
It's
got
such a strong card right now. Oh, you got an alley cat. That's fine.
it. Yeah, that's fine.
So do we Razor Maul first, hoping for poison?
Sure. I don't think it matters one way or the other.
You can hit if it's so poisonous, stealth, wind fury. You think poisonous to kill
Poisonous.
the?
Poisonous to
Absolutely.
kill the feast, yep.
Yep.
Kill it all. Yeah.
Well, it won't kill,
Kill
it
it
all.
all. Kill it all.
Yeah. Well, I can't kill it all. I don't
Yeah,
have
you
enough.
No.
You can use
Oh
your,
yeah, Houndmaster.
Yeah, Houndmaster and your weapon.
Houndmaster.
That's right. I'll use my weapon, not the Houndmaster. And actually, I won't
There you
even
go.
have to. Yeah, there we go.
And you do 4 points of damage to the face.
Had to rationalize it in my head. Going too fast. Thank you, Zeroshio triggered. Yes, that triggers me so bad. I'm not even mad about that.
Oh, how nice.
Yes.
So,
Uh.
I would Animal Companion first.
Yep.
Dang it. That is not
No,
what we were looking for.
nope.
But
Uh,
I would Houndmaster him.
Houndmaster
Houndmaster
Leok, yeah.
Leok
Leok.
gives us 2 4-attack minions on the board. Do we take a weapon charge to face?
Oh yeah. He is on the express plan, sir.
Yeah.
This is Smork Central.
He needs it. I was just about to say he needs another priest of the feast.
But now he needs to be able to get rid of one of the 5
There's the
attack
death.
minions,
Yeah.
which he can.
Oh yeah, we had that. Both of them are 5.
So I absolutely would unleash the hounds here, so you can take out Priest of the Feast.
With Houndmaster and the Hound.
Yep.
Wait, do we want Houndmaster and use Leok?
Yeah,
And
I
go
think,
5 to face?
Yeah, you can.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
I
fine.
forgot about the buff. And then do we go ahead and Grandmother and Hero Power?
Yes.
Don't forget to use your Hero Power. I'm not going to
And-
face with my weapon yet, just in case we have something we got to deal with. I don't anticipate him
Like
having.
Tar Creeper.
Yeah, like Tar Creeper specifically.
Yep.
Tar Creeper and Kindly Grandmother. Or, I mean, Weapon and Kindly Grandmother deals with that.
Crystalline Oracle.
He's getting desperate now.
He's drawing.
That's a desperate.
Yep, he's drawing.
That's a desperate play. Shadow Visions into death.
Which is still not
And
enough.
we have
to save
lethal.
Yep, there it
There we
is.
go.
Voila, 2-0,
Thank-
just like
Oh,
that.
There we go. That's right. Smork, smork, smork. Look at all those smorks in chat.
Love seeing Smorks in chat, guys. That's great.
So Aggro Hunter's back, baby. I love that variety of Hunter. It is very aggressive,
Yeah.
but it's also flexible. It has a little wiggle room. Now, I've seen people mention in chat and also on some of the forums that they would check out the Galaka Crawler for a Hungry Crab because they're facing more Paladin. This deck allows you to have some switch around. You can also even put in Nesting Rock if you need some taunts to protect some of your minions. There's a lot of really good versatility with this deck. Just find out what you're losing to and tech towards it.
That's right. All right. So I guess that's it for this week, guys. Quick show.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you play aggro. Shows. One way or the other, your show will be quick.
Yeah.
And I am Hunter is one of my 2 classes that I don't have golden with, and I'm at 337 wins with Hunter. So probably gonna play this a little bit more to try to kind of focus on getting that golden. I've been focusing my attention on THL lately, and since we're kind of out of it, and I'm just playing for fun, I can get my focus back on the ladder and preparing for DreamHack.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thoughts about the deck, and have fun with it, guys. You got any thoughts on the deck, Versika?
I mean, it's the most common mistake that people make when they're playing aggro is that they're not patient. Be patient, and like Boyd has said about me multiple times today, my mantra is play to your outs. Know what your outs are. Be patient. Don't get super reactive to the board. Use your life total as a resource, and most of the time you're going to win on turn 7 or 8, regardless of what your opponent puts down. So
Yeah.
just be patient and wait for it.
If you're playing against an aggro hunter, just take times on your turn, because they're probably only playing this game between heating up their hot pocket and they don't want it to burn. So they'll probably end up leaving the game because you took too long on your turn.
I just want to say, I think one of the most important things with this deck is ordering. Make sure you play your cards in the correct order. You know, like they said, take your time. Don't rush just because it's an aggro deck, and make sure your sequencing and ordering is correct. That's one of the most important things about this deck.
One thing you'll learn, and this is if you ever listen to Hearth Coach and you watch Fred and Dan, Fred has a very specific rule. Always draw first, because while you might go into turn knowing exactly what you're going to do to solidify the board and maybe set up lethal, if you use your option to draw, then you might actually get lethal. So that's why a lot of times you'll see me say, oh, we're going to make sure we tracking first. Because I know we had enough mana to do what our plan was, +1 for the tracking. So might as well tracking first. If we don't find anything that helps us more than what we're already going to do, we just stick to the plan. We might draw into something that goes, wow, now we have lethal. So always make sure to draw first and sequence your plays right.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's going to do it for us this week. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please feel free to shoot us an email at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Do us a favor if you haven't already and hit that subscribe button below on YouTube, and give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted as to when we go live. For more information on our Patreon, if you were interested in joining our member-only Discord or participating in the Hero Power Invitational tournaments, you can find all of that information at patreon.com/heropower. And until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys.